Hello there, Geek Bomb. It is Maud Garrett, Boss Bomb of Geek Bomb here, delivering the very last out of Power for 2019. Power, of course, is an acronym. They are three letters, P, W, and R, and they stand for playing, watching, and reading. So already I've spoken to you about the games that I've played, the TV shows and movies, the top ones that I watched of 2019, and now it's time to talk about the books that I read for 2019. I did a quick Google, none of them came out this year. Ha! That's a little bit tough. One of them came out at the end of last year, and the next in the series will come out in the April of next year. So with that in mind, these are the books that I read, and I will let you know the favourite of them all. If you don't already know, Geek Bomb has an online book club. It is a part of the Patreon that I run. I absolutely love reading, and so every single month I nominate a book. Well, actually, everyone kind of puts forward suggestions, and then there's a vote. It's there's a democracy at play there. And then whatever book wins, we all read it, and at the end of the month, along with the guest, usually it's like another host or a semi-celebrity that I get on board, we all discuss the book of the month over a Discord chat. So we just talk about the book, and then everyone gets to participate while chatting and asking questions, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's my favorite thing that we do every single month. So if you're not a part of the Patreon, I can announce that for 2020, the book club's only going to be $5 for the Discord access, which will allow the monthly voice chats as well. And also we're trying to make it into an actual show, hopefully maybe on Twitch, who knows, but something where we can be interactive whilst talking about the book every single month. Whoo-wee! We got through quite a few with that one. The book that we kicked off book club with, I believe it was for July, was Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, the first book, Eye of the World. That one for me was a little bit of a slog, but I'm actually quite excited to just get to this series done. I'm a huge fantasy book reader, so that is the mandatory must-read. This series is fantastic, and it's already bought by Amazon Prime and going to be turned into a series, so I just wanted to get it done before it came out so I can piece it all together in my mind. So I think I know what it looks like, and I've pictured these characters, and then they can show me their version of it. So that was one of the books. We also started the Dresden Files. Now, I didn't just read the first book of the Dresden Files series by Jim Butcher, which first came out, I believe, in 2000 and has been released quite incrementally since. I've actually listened to all the entire series. This year alone, I believe I listened to, it was like from book 11 to 16, maybe 12 to 16. So I finished the series this year, and then with book club started again from book 1, because it is phenomenal to listen to. If you haven't started the Dresden Files, which is a supernatural noir detective series, a wizard adult Harry, one may say, one did say, it's what the book's about, then I definitely recommend it, because James Masters, who is Spike from Buffy, narrates it, and it is the best narration I've ever had my ears on, and I cannot recommend it enough. So that's my big recommendation. But we read book 1 again. It's not his best in the series. They do manage to keep getting better and better and better. And obviously the more you listen to it, the more you're invested in these characters, the more you learn about it all. It's so great. I also delved into the A Discovery of Witches series. I read book 1 and I listened to it, and I really quite enjoyed it. By halfway through, or a third of the way through book 2, I checked out. They went back in time because time hopping is a thing, and I absolutely had zero interest in what the new story they were telling was. So I recommend the first one, but I don't recommend the series, if that's even possible. Again, it came out as a television series, which I watched, and I think that if I hadn't read the book, I wouldn't enjoy the series as much. With book club, we also read Lev Grossman's The Magicians. It's a sci-fi series. I think it's been approved for season 5, and that'll be the last one. I remember watching season 1, and I absolutely adored it. It's kind of like a naughty Harry Potter, because it takes place at a school of magic, but it's a very different attitude, a lot of drugs and booze, and everyone seems to be miserable inside. Going over that one in book club was very, very interesting. I'm not really a fan of how the women were depicted in this book, and it was really dealing with a lot of heartache and sadness. And also, that storyline was a jumbled mess, and the TV show is a lot better than the book. And I rarely find myself saying that, so, woo. The final book that we read for Geek Bomb Book Club was Lost Stars. It's a Star Wars novel by Claudia Gray. It's in the young adult genre, But it's absolutely fantastic. It's probably my favorite Star Wars book, and I've read a bunch that came out through canon. This one actually came out before The Force Awakens, but takes place through the original trilogy. It's about two kids that grow up wanting to be pilots in the Imperial Army, and what the education process looks like, and then what it's like to have to stand by the Empire making pretty rash decisions like blowing up Alderaan, and that psyche of trying to not only understand it, but you make excuses for it. You accept that behavior. That was really fascinating. Throw in an epic love story where one of the guys defects to work for the rebels while she's still working in the Imperial Army, and it's the best book. Definitely recommend that one. Probably the best book that I've read, but I also read it in 2017. Speaking of that, again in 2017, I started a little series called Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. The end of last year is when the final book in that series came out, and I read it this year. I listened to it, sorry. Oh man, that's so good. So good that I've recommended it to a bunch of girlfriends, and while they're starting it, I'm rereading it. So that's been an absolute blast to listen to again. Such a good story. It's about a female assassin, essentially. She writes incredibly great fantasy from a female perspective, but it has it all. So I'd love to hear from you. What books did you read for 2019? What did you love? What series have you gotten stuck into? Hearing my recommendations and what I've been reading, what are your recommendations for me? With Book Club, we are on Goodreads. We have Geek Bomb's Book Club, and Geek Bomb is also on there if you wanted to join in the discussions, recommend new book clubs. In the link below, you'll see Patreon details there, so you can join up to the Discord, sorry. We're talking about books all the time. It's a fantastic community, and I'm so proud to be leading that community as well, because chatting books really is my jam. Some people don't necessarily like the books, other people love them. It is an extension of Alpha Book Club that was on the Alpha Network under Nerdist and Geek and Sundry a couple of years ago, where every single month we would talk about a new book. Well, every week we would talk about the book of the month. And that was the favorite time of my life then, so I'm trying to reignite it here. And I've got big plans for it, but of course that takes money, which is why Patreon is a big thing that I push, that I love, that I need. But there you go, 2019, power done. What have you been playing, watching, reading? Check out playing and watching the previous videos that have been up on Geek Bomb. I like to think of the Geek Bomb community as one big data bank of recommendations with playing, watching, and reading. Share what you're loving. Jump over on Geek Bomb social media and continue discussions there as well. Hope you've had an amazing 2019. I know 2020 is going to be better, and because we've just done reading, I can say that it'll be easier to read in 2020 because the vision will be clearer. I listen to audiobooks more than I read these days, so bad pun on me. Even though there's no such thing as a bad pun. Thank you so much for watching this, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We're an amazing community. We talk all geeky things, and everyone's a dang legend. Hope to see you guys in the next year. Have the best time. Bye.